Hey, I'm back with another video. I'm doing something a little different this time. So this is for Capricorn season. So happy Capricorn season. Happy birthday to all the Capricorns out there. And I just decided to do a video about 10 movies to watch for Capricorn season. So I was trying to think of a video to do that, didn't have to do with celebrities or anything like that. So I thought about doing this. So let me just share my screen. So the movies that I'm going to show you, well, not show you, but the movies that I have listed have strong Capricorn themes, or the characters, they play a Capricorn role. So if you haven't seen some of these movies, I definitely recommend you check them out because, in my opinion, they're very good. I am a movie buff, so I do like to combine my knowledge of movies into the work that I do. So here goes. First movie, A Few Good Men. Now, a lot of my viewers probably have seen this movie because it's a very popular movie. Now, starring Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise, and Demi Moore, this film is one of my favorite courtroom dramas. It is fitting for the Capricorn season because the story centers on the military and a form of punishment called a code red. So the military and punishment fall into Capricorn. Now, Jack Nicholson killed it in his role as Colonel Jessup. So there's this scene during the climax where Tom Cruise's character is, saying, "Did you order a code red?" And Jack Nicholson's character is saying, "You goddamn right I did." So Jack Nicholson played that role to the hilt. So that movie has some strong Capricorn themes, like I said. Number two, The Royal Tenenbaum. Now, some of my viewers might have seen this, but I'm thinking quite a few of you guys haven't. So this is one of those obscure, quirky movies that really didn't do too well in the box office, I believe. Released in 2001, this movie has a Capricorn vibe all the way. The vibe is melancholic, which is very Capricorn. Now, the patriarch of the family, Royal Tenenbaum, expertly played by Gene Hackman, embodies a dark-sided Capricorn to a T. But so does Richie Tenenbaum, played by the alluring Luke Wilson. So he's right here with the Falcon. Now, both the Wilson brothers are in this film, Luke and Owen Wilson, which is a treat. And Gwyneth Paltrow's character, Margot Tenenbaum, may be an Aquarius with Venus and Capricorn, since she's dating the much older Raleigh St. Clair, played by Bill Murray. You also have Danny Glover in the movie, Angelica Houston, and Danny Glover and Angelica Houston, they're dating. And Angelica Houston, she just always comes across as, just that melancholic. She played in the Addams Family movies. So she just always came across as with this melancholic character. So the whole movie is just very Capricorn to me. All right, number three, The Stepford Wives. So you should check out 1975, the original version, and also the one released in 2004. Now, The Stepford Wives is a dark-sided Capricorn man's dream come true. So I suggest you check out both versions. The 2004 version stars Nicole Kidman, Matthew Broderick, Christopher Walken, and Glenn Close. So it's an all-star cast, and they do a pretty good job playing these roles. So basically, this movie is about a married couple that moves to an affluent suburb in Connecticut called Stepford. And the wife eventually discovers that all the wives of Stepford have been turned into robot versions of Betty Crocker mixed with a little June Cleaver. And the wives obey their husband's every command. So it's a really creepy movie, but it also has some humorous parts in it. So I definitely recommend it. You check that out if you haven't seen that. Number four, Baby Boom. Released in 1987, Baby Boom stars Diane Keaton, who happens to be a Capricorn in real life. She was born January 5th. And this story centers on a high-powered workaholic advertising executive who is up for making partner at the firm. That is until she unexpectedly inherits a baby from her deceased distant cousin. This movie is both funny and touching. It is definitely a Capricorn chick flick, so a lot of guys may not be into this sort of thing, but it's definitely a chick flick. It's cool though. It's really funny and touching. Number 5, Fight Club. Now, my Capricorn sister put me onto this movie, but I didn't like it at all at first. And that's because I really wasn't paying attention to the narration. So, if you've seen this movie and like if you really weren't paying attention, you may not really like it unless you're into like movies that are rather gory and gritty and like where there's fighting and stuff. But I didn't get it the first time around because I wasn't paying attention. I was distracted. So it took me watching the film another time alone for me to understand the premise. Now, Fight Club is very appropriate for Capricorn due to the corporate America theme, but even more so due to the strong sadomasochistic theme. This movie is dark, gritty, and grungy, industrial even, which is very Capricorn. Also, there's a theme of mentorship courtesy of Tyler Durden, who is playing both the protagonist and antagonist. So you got Edward Norton and Brad Pitt starring in this movie, and they have such great on-screen chemistry that is damn near homoerotic. Alright, next movie. Number 6, Places in the Heart. Now, Places in the Heart is one of those struggle movies that features stellar performances from Sally Field, John Malkovich, and Danny Glover. Released in 1984, Places in the Heart is about a widow who is broke and has to tend to a 40-acre farm. She takes in a blind man played by Malkovich and a black man who is in need of work played by Danny Glover to help her tend to this farm because she can't do it on her own. Now, this movie will tug at your heartstrings, and it takes place during the Great Depression era. So that's very Capricorn. Next film. Number 7, The Mirror Has Two Faces. Now, what's an aging English lit professor to do when she finds the one, but the one only chose her because she is middle-aged and dowdy looking? So his heart doesn't get broken. And here's another catch. He doesn't want to have sex with her either. Now, Barbra Streisand and Jeff Bridges knock it out the park with their portrayal of two socially awkward professors who are both too much inside their heads. Barbra Streisand as Rose is channeling Capricorn energy in a very seductive way in this sweet romantic comedy. Lauren Bacall tantalizes with her portrayal of Rose's narcissistic mother. Next movie. Number 8, Fresh. I love this movie. Now, I chose this urban drama, Fresh, because the lead character, a 12-year-old boy played by the underrated actor Sean Nelson, strikes me as a Capricorn. He's a 12-year-old drug dealer who had to grow up way too fast. However, he is business-minded, mature, and no nonsense. Samuel L. Jackson does his usual fine job at playing one of the bad guys. In this movie, he is Fresh's deadbeat dad, so the boy is named Fresh. I can't stand him in this film. Now, this movie is real as fuck. The ending gets me choked up every time. When I see that tear roll down Fresh's angry and defeated face, I just want to hug him. Now, that's some good acting right there. And the boy that played Fresh, Sean Nelson, he also played in this mini-series called The Corner, which is available on YouTube for free. It was the precursor to The Wire, which I loved as well. But if you haven't seen The Corner, check that out because he's in that as well. Number 9, Good Fences. Now, this came out in 2003. Whoopi Goldberg and Danny Glover are reborn as a married couple in Good Fences, but instead of Glover going upside Whoopi's head like in Color Purple, in Good Fences, he's painting her toenails and shit. Now, Danny's character is a successful defense attorney and he considers himself to be part of the black elite. And you won't believe how far he goes in order to keep this ghetto black woman, played by Monique, from reducing the resale value of his home because she moved in to the neighborhood because she hit the lottery. So in this movie, Danny Glover plays this overly ambitious and too concerned with status black man that is conflicted inside. So it's a really good movie, and it's very Capricorn because of the themes of ambition, status, being part of the elite. And then last but not least, number 10, we have Scrooged. So I love this movie. I went to see it when it first came out back in 1988, so I'm showing my age, and I loved it. Now, Scrooge stars Bill Murray, who carries the whole movie. So he is Scrooge, basically. All the other characters, they were just supporting roles. Now, Scrooge is a remake of The Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. And the main character, Ebenezer Scrooge, is about as Capricorn as one can get. On the dark side, that is. Now, in Scrooge, Frank Cross, played by Bill Murray, is mean, stingy, and cynical. And he's the president of a major television network. He's rich but lonely and miserable, which is so Capricorn. And work is his whole life, which is so Capricorn. That is until he's visited by 3 ghosts on Christmas Eve. And he's basically shown how his life could end up. He's basically shown his potential karma for being such an asshole. So those are the 10 movies that I am recommending that you watch during Capricorn season. And I hope everybody has a very happy holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, or whatever you celebrate. And I will be back with more videos. Peace and many blessings.